Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, good
Waalaikumsalam
afternoon.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon everyone. My name is Kike Prasofi Rahmatullah from Group 7. We will serve as a moderator in this presentation. As for my group members, they are Yasirli Octavia, Salma Anggraini, Sabrina Rashida Alia, and myself, Kike Prasofi Rahmatullah. Today, our group will present the topic that we have discussed previously, namely about global trade. There will be two sessions. The first is a presentation session and the second is a question and answer session. For the question and answer session, you all can ask in the WhatsApp group. Okay, let's just start the presentation session. Let's go, Yasirli.
The slide, please. Okay, here I want to explain about definition of global trade. We all must be very familiar with the term of global trade, especially we are student of Faculty of Economics. But do we know what's the meaning of global trade? Global trade is the trade carried out by residents of a country with residents of other countries on the basis of mutual agreement. Residents here is individuals in individuals or individuals with government of a country, or it can be government of a country with government of other country. Global trade is the most important aspect to supporting the economic growth of nation because global trade is one of the main factors to increase GDP or gross domestic product that can make the economic growth increase. And trade that occurs in global trade is the transaction of goods and service between countries through export and import carried out across countries. And the next. Next is benefits of global trade. There are four benefits of global trade. First, obtaining goods that cannot produce in their own country. There are many factors that influence the difference in production result in each other in each country. These factors include geographical condition, climate, and a level of mastery of science, and can be technology and others. Now, with global trade, each country is able to full needs that are not produced independently. And the second is benefit from specialization. The main reason for foreign trade activities is to obtain the benefits that are related by specialization. Although a country can produce goods of the same kinds as the produced by other countries, sometimes it is better if the country imports these goods from abroad. And the third is expanding the market and increasing the profits. Sometimes entrepreneurs don't operate their machines optimally because they are worried that there will be overproduction, which will result in lower price for their product. Now, with global trade, entrepreneur can run their machines to their full potential and sell the excess product abroad. And the last one is more and methods that are more modern. And the next topic is supporting factors that will be explained by Salma Anggraini. Please, Salma.
Okay, supporting factor. One, natural potential to fill the needs of the domestic goods and service. Two, there are difference in the ability to mastery of science and technology in processing economics records. 3. There is an access of domestic products so that new markets are needed to sell these products. 4. There is a common tester for an item. 5. The desire to open cooperation, political relation, and support from other countries. 6. The currents of the globalization era so that no country in the world can live alone. Theory global trade. 1. Adam Smith. Adam Smith's model focuses on about absolute profit, which states that all countries will gain absolute benefits if all apply free trade and focus on their products or expertise because a country imports are export to at her countries. David Ricardian explains we a country is exploitable of production and products ethically still has to be involved in international trade. In his model, he explains that when there are several countries capable of producing some of the same commodities agreed in free trade. Hecker-Ohlin. The Hecker-Ohlin model uses the Ricardian model to create a comparative model. This model was created to explain how a country implements international trade. In this model, Hecker-Ohlin stated that countries should export abundant and mass product and import products. Next, Sabrina.
Okay, so I will explain you about global trade regulation. Traditionally, trade was regulated through bilateral treaties between two nations. After World War II, as free trade emerged as the dominant doctrine, multilateral treaties like the GATT and World Trade Organization, or WTO, became the principal regime for regulating global trade. Okay, so the WTO, created in 1995 as the successor to the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, or GATT, is an international organization charged with overseeing and adjudicating international trade. The WTO deals with the rules of trade between nations at a near global level. is responsible for negotiating and implementing new trade agreements and is in charge of policing member countries' adherence to all the WTO agreements signed by the majority of the world's trading nations and ratified in their parliaments. Additionally, it is the WTO's duty to Next slide, please. Okay, now the barriers to global trade. First, tax imposition rate. The imposition of taxes or custom duty on goods that cross the borders of a country. The second is quotas for the number of goods traded. Quotas are restrictions on the physical quantity of goods that are traded internationally. Import quota is a limitation on the physical quantity that enters the country. Meanwhile, the export quota is the limitation on the physical quantity of goods exported abroad. The third is export restriction agreement. An export restriction agreement is a voluntary agreement between an exporting country and an an importing country in order to limit the volume of trade for certain goods. The fourth is foreign exchange restrictions. Foreign exchange restrictions are restrictions on the supply of foreign currency by the central bank of a country. Okay, the next topic will be explained by Gigi. Please, Gigi.
Okay, thank you, Sabrina. Then, who are the parties involved in global trade? There are three parties involved in global trade, and they are all very involved in the occurrence of this transaction. These parties are importers, exporters, and intender. The first is importer. The meaning of importer is a party who brings goods from outside Indonesia custom into the Indonesian custom area in accordance with the applicable provision. Importers themselves are further divided into three, which are classified as function, namely producer importers, special importers, and general importers. The first is producer importers, namely importers whose activities are to import raw materials to be produced into finished goods. Example, a company that imports yarn to be made into cloth. Second, there are special importers, namely importers who import certain goods based on a decision from the government. Example, rice import is regulated and implemented by Bulog. Thirdly, there are general importers, namely importers who import goods for sale or fulfill their own needs. Example, importing computers, motorcycle parts, and other. Okay, then there is the opponent of the importer, namely the exporter. Exporters are parties that remove goods from the Indonesian custom area outside Indonesian custom in accordance with applicable regulation. Based on its function, there are three types of exporter, namely general exporter, export merchant house, and trading companies. Okay, the first is general exporter, namely companies or people who export goods. Second, there is an export merchant house, namely a branch office or subsidiary that assists the parent company in data collection. and inspection and packaging of goods to be exported to the parent company, and also purchase goods from a company and specialists in international trade with certain countries that need this good. The third is a trading company, namely a company that does not produce goods but collects goods for export or only acts as an intermediary. After importer and exporter, there is the last party involved in international trade, namely the indenter. Indenter is a party that carries out import activities through importers. There are three things that cause the party to become an enterprising party, namely not having a license to import, wanting to concentrate to the core business, and tax consideration. International trade is a trade transaction between one country's economic subject and another country's economic subject, either about goods or service. Indonesia has a strategic location geographically. This position provides an advantage for Indonesia to conduct international trade relations with other countries in the world. The following are some of the benefits of international trade of Indonesia. The first, encouraging the country's economic growth, equitable distribution of people income, and national economic stability. Second, adding foreign exchange through import duties and other costs on export and import. Third, strengthening brotherly relation and cooperation between countries. The next is negative. The first, the emergence of dependence with developed countries. Second, the occurrence of unfair competition due to the influence of free trade. And the third, if it is unable to compete, the country's economic growth will be lower and domestic unemployment will increase. So it can be concluded that international trade is trade between countries in the world, both in the sale and purchase of goods or services that involves three parties as well as positive and negative impact. That's the presentation from our groups. For those of you who want to ask, you all can chat in the WhatsApp group. Okay, sorry if there are wrong words that I'll end. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.